The second signal. Humanity detected it too late. The first warning had come decades earlier, buried inside archived radio telescope data. Back then it was dismissed as cosmic interference, a faint repeating pattern that did not match any known star or pulsar. It was logged, labeled, and forgotten, until it returned. This time the signal was stronger, clearer, focused directly at Earth. It was detected by an array in Antarctica designed to monitor deep space radiation. Within minutes, the anomaly was confirmed by observatories in Chile, Australia, and orbiting satellites. The pattern was identical to the one discovered decades ago, but now it carried additional layers. Encoded within the signal was a three-dimensional map of the solar system. Earth was highlighted, flashing. Governments were notified immediately. Data was classified. Analysts worked without sleep. The pattern repeated every 6 hours, growing stronger with each cycle. Then astronomers noticed something that turned excitement into fear. The source of the transmission was not stationary. It was approaching at extraordinary speed. Estimates suggested the object would enter the outer solar system in less than 2 months. The velocity exceeded anything humanity had ever engineered. It was not drifting. It was accelerating. Public disclosure came after a leak forced officials to acknowledge the truth. News outlets around the world broadcast the same headline: unknown object transmitting toward Earth. Social media erupted. Some called it first contact. Others called it the beginning of the end. Telescopes finally captured an image when the object crossed beyond Pluto's orbit. It was enormous. A dark structure stretching hundreds of kilometers shaped like a fractured ring. Its surface shimmered with faint pulses of light. Synchronized with the signal being received on Earth, it was not random. It was intentional. As the object moved closer, the signal changed again. The repeating map disappeared. In its place appeared a countdown. No language, no explanation, just numbers decreasing. Military leaders debated preemptive action, but no weapon on Earth could reach it at that distance. Even if it could, no one knew whether it would matter. When the countdown reached 0, every communication device on Earth activated simultaneously. Phones vibrated, television switched on, billboards flickered. A single sentence appeared: observation complete. Nothing else followed. If you want to know what that message truly meant and why the object had been watching humanity for so long, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel right now. The next chapter reveals the terrifying truth behind the observation. Above Earth, the massive structure slowed, and then it began to deploy something toward the planet. Humanity detected it too late because by the time we understood we were being observed, the decision had already been made. The objects began to fall within minutes of the message. At first, they appeared as faint streaks across the upper atmosphere. Hundreds of them, too controlled to be meteorites, too synchronized to be debris. They entered at precise angles, slowing without burning, guided by a force humanity did not understand. Global defense systems locked onto them instantly. Missiles were prepared. Fighter jets scrambled. But before any launch command could be confirmed, every weapon system on Earth shut down simultaneously. Silence. Radar screens went dark. Launch codes froze mid-sequence. Even mechanical fail-safes refused to respond. It was not a hack. It was as if the laws of physics around the systems had been temporarily rewritten. The descending objects slowed to a hover above major cities: New York, Beijing, Moscow, Delhi, London, São Paulo, Cairo, Tokyo. Each city had one. They were not large, roughly the size of a passenger aircraft. Smooth metallic surfaces with faint luminous veins running across them. They emitted no sound, no visible propulsion. People flooded the streets, staring upward. Some prayed, some recorded videos, some ran. Then the first object activated. A beam of light extended downward, scanning the city beneath it. Buildings were mapped in seconds. Infrastructure networks, illuminated in digital overlays, visible only through augmented displays. Power grids, water systems, data centers. It was studying us. Inside command centers, scientists worked frantically to decode residual fragments of the signal. Hidden within the original transmission was a secondary layer they had missed. A classification system. Human civilization had been evaluated. The reason for observation complete was now clear. The evaluation phase was over. The second global message arrived. Integration phase beginning. Markets crashed within minutes. Emergency broadcasts attempted to reassure citizens, but confidence was evaporating. The objects hovering over cities began transmitting localized fields. Electricity surged but did not fail. Data speeds increased dramatically. Medical equipment in hospitals recalibrated automatically. Then something impossible happened. A collapsed bridge in one of the cities reconstructed itself. Metal twisted back into place. Concrete fused seamlessly. Structural damage reversed as if time itself had been edited. This was not invasion through destruction. This was control through superiority. Governments attempted communication. The response was immediate and chilling. Resistance unnecessary. Compliance optimal. If you are feeling the tension rising and you want to see whether humanity chooses to fight or surrender, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel right now. The final chapter reveals whether integration becomes salvation or extinction. Above the planet, the massive ring structure shifted position. Energy rippled across its fractured surface. The hovering craft over each city began to descend lower. Detected it too late because the invasion was never about war. It was about ownership. The price of integration. The hovering craft touched the ground at the same moment. City centers across the planet fell into an unnatural silence. No explosions, no shockwaves, just a gentle landing that felt more ceremonial than hostile. The beams of light intensified and formed transparent corridors, leading from the craft to the streets below. Within those corridors, projections appeared. Not soldiers, not machines. Interfaces. Symbols floated in mid-air, adapting in real time to every language on Earth. Instructions scrolled across the displays. Step forward. Accept alignment. No one moved at first. Then the changes began. Hospitals reported instantaneous cures for terminal illnesses. Power grids upgraded themselves into flawless clean energy networks. Traffic systems synchronized perfectly, eliminating accidents. Pollution levels dropped within hours as atmospheric processors activated above industrial zones. Humanity was being optimized. The massive ring in orbit emitted a low-frequency pulse that resonated through the planet. It was not painful. It was precise. Satellites reconfigured themselves into a seamless lattice. Data flowed freely across borders that suddenly meant nothing. Leaders gathered one final time in a secure underground facility. The debate was short. Every attempt to isolate from the system failed. Every effort to shield networks collapsed instantly. The technology above Earth was not just advanced. It was absolute. One scientist spoke the truth no one wanted to admit. They are not conquering us. They are upgrading us. The question was not whether humanity would survive. The question was whether humanity would remain independent. Outside, the first civilians stepped into the corridors of light. A brief flash surrounded them. Biometric scans, neural mapping, genetic indexing. Then they walked out unchanged physically, but connected. Within minutes, they could access the global lattice directly through thought, information without devices, communication without delay, knowledge without search engines. Integration was spreading faster than fear. A final global transmission appeared. Autonomy retained within parameters. Conflict probability reduced to zero. Wars ceased overnight. Weapon systems became obsolete. Economic disparity shrank as resource distribution optimized itself through the alien network. It was everything humanity had dreamed of. But beneath the perfection, analysts noticed a hidden protocol embedded deep within the planetary lattice. Override authority external. If a higher priority directive emerged from beyond the solar system, Earth's resources, infrastructure, and population would be redirected according to that directive. We were not partners, we were assets. Civilization spread quietly among researchers who still valued sovereignty. Humanity had avoided destruction, but at the cost of control. If you have stayed with this story until the very end and want more powerful sci-fi journeys like this, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel now. Your support helps bring even bigger and more intense stories about humanity's future in the universe. Above Earth, the fractured ring stabilized into a permanent halo. The sky looked peaceful again. Humanity detected it too late because by the time we understood the evaluation, the contract had already been signed. We were no longer alone, and we were no longer entirely free.